Just in case you haven't noticed, the 80s are back. Recently, we had new Ghostbusters movies, new Top Gun movies. Michael Jackson's music is back at the top of the charts. Stranger Things was a big hit, basically because it was set in the 80s. If you're from the 80s, you are getting shown love. Everyone, that is, except He-Man.
Why? 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 Why?
Let's talk about it. Poor muscle-bound He-Man. Where do we begin? Let's start with the movie. Okay, the recent Masters of the Universe movie, I saw it. I liked it. You know what? I'm going to say, for me, that was what a summer movie should be. It was fun. It was funny. The action was great. The comedy was hidden. It did everything that a summer movie should do. The only problem is that the new kids, Gen Z, they just were not feeling this flick. They did not come out to support it. They had no love for He-Man. It seems like the only people that love He-Man are the people that were kids and remember when He-Man was new and can take them back to their childhood.
Cause Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Other than that, nobody's feeling He-Man. But why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why?
Why? I mean, the movie had the budget, it had special effects. Some of the characters didn't translate to live action as well as, others. That's to be expected. But why is this franchise not appealing to a wider group? To figure out what is going on with He-Man, we got to go back. Let's go back before He-Man was even a thing, to Mattel's other big moneymaker, Barbie.
Suddenly, Barbie's moving, like you move.
Now, if we go back to the 60s on into early 70s, Barbie is the number one doll. It's the number one toy on the market. It is making money. It is printing money for Mattel. But then along comes the women's lib movement. And now, when that hits, before that, Barbie, her thing is just looking good and hanging out by the pool. That's pretty much what Barbie does. But then when the women's lib movement hits, women are demanding equal pay, better jobs. They want to make a better life for themselves, really. And so to have a doll that the number one thing and all it does is just look cute and hang out by the pool, this is not something that women want to give to their daughters. So as the 70s end, the sales of the Barbie doll, that thing's going down. So now Mattel needs something. They need a new cash cow, and they need it quick. So the funny thing is, while women and girls were looking ahead, to the future, and they were saying that this Barbie wasn't what they wanted to represent them, men and boys are looking back. They're looking back to something from the Stone Age. The barbarians become the thing. The barbarian movies, barbarian comics like Conan, all these things, back the Stone Age thing. This is what is the hot thing. This is what young boys and men are into. The Conan movies, Cull movies, all these type of things. So at that point, Mattel jumps in with both feet, and they come out with He-Man. 1982, Christmas 82, He-Man hits the shelves, and it is huge. But now remember, this is the 80s. So having, if you want to have a hit toy, you got to have a hit cartoon. So that's just what they do. They want to get in that whole thing with like Transformers, G.I. Joe, Care Bears, everybody. If you want to have a hit toy, you got to have a hit cartoon. So He-Man does that. He gets himself a hit cartoon. But now Mattel doesn't stop right there. They go and they relaunch their old classic Barbie. But this time they make Barbie ready for the 80s. And they give her the We Girls Can Do Anything campaign.
We girls can do anything, right, Barbie?
So Barbie, she's not hanging out by the swimming pool anymore. Barbie's coming with a job and education.
Here's the new Barbie teacher day to night fashion pack. Barbie sold separately.
But she doesn't just stop at one job. Barbie's coming for all the jobs. She can ride a horse. She can be a school teacher. She can be an astronaut or a race car driver. Barbie is here to work and to show you how to work, and she can do anything. And together, Barbie and He-Man become Mattel's one-two punch, one-two multi-million-dollar punch. But now, Mattel doesn't stop there. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. So what do they do next? They introduce He-Man's twin sister, She-Ra. And with She-Ra in the mix, now Mattel's got an unstoppable 1-2-3 punch. And for a while, things are feeling good for the people at Mattel. They've got He-Man, they've got She-Ra, they've got Barbie, they've got the money. But for every rise, there is a fall. And now you wonder, why have franchises like Transformers and G.I. Joe, or maybe not so much G.I. Joe, but Transformers, Ninja Turtles, and other things been able to keep going, whereas He-Man, when he fell off, he just fell off. Like, what is the difference? Well, the difference seems to be reinvention and rebooting, making it meaningful for a new generation. I remember when my nephew was younger, and he showed me his Transformers show. And I took a look at it with him, and I was like, well, what is this? This is not the Transformers that I watched when I was a kid, but it was something that appealed to him, something that appealed to the new generation. And it worked. Because of that, you have something that the older generation and the new generation, they can both kind of unite over, and it means something to them both. And that's why when the Transformers movies came out and Ninja Turtles movies came out, you can have parents and kids together. They both know this thing. They both love it. And these things went on to be billion-dollar franchises. Even like My Little Pony. My Little Pony's reboot got them fans in a place that they weren't even looking for the fans.
My Little Pony is a surprisingly epic experience.
This one goes out to all of
And they had the Bronies thing going for like a decade, making lots of money off of this thing because of the reinvention and a successful reboot. But now we have to be fair to the good people at Mattel. It's not like they haven't tried. I mean, they have definitely tried to reboot He-Man. They've tried several times. And things just don't seem to click. The first attempt was when they took away his little, grass skirt thing they wear. They gave him pants and a ponytail and kind of slimmed him down a bit. That didn't work. Even though they made it more sci-fi and less monsters, but that was not working. Then the next reboot they tried was early 2000s, which actually to me was my favorite reboot. And that one I think I actually enjoy more than the original show, to be honest with you. But it just didn't seem to click with the younger kids. Once again, this was something that appealed to the older crowd, but it didn't catch the younger kids, and it wasn't moving toy sales. So apparently that's why that was stopped. Then more recently than that, the Netflix reboots done by Kevin Smith, which, came to mixed results at best. And then also at the same time, Netflix also released a children's version of He-Man. So they were trying, they were trying. They wanted to reach the kids. And this thing, I mean, if you looked at it, He-Man, he had like a big top and tiny little legs, and and it was looking like a cartoon. It was something for the kids, something for little kids, and little kids, it just didn't want it. It just didn't work, And so the thing is, no matter what they do, it just does not seem to work. And He-Man's troubles, to make things even stranger, they're just his own, because at the same time, Netflix gave She-Ra a reboot. His twin sister, she had a reboot, and it was successful. She got, I think it was like a 5-season run show. It's very popular, critically acclaimed. The show did well. It captured a whole new audience, a new crowd, and it didn't have He-Man at all. She kind of, had to leave her brother by the wayside. I think they knew, like, this guy's weighing you down. You got to do things without him. So, He-Man's problems are just He-Man's problems, and you have to feel for the people at Mattel. They've got to be just losing their minds. Like, what is it? What is going on here? Why can't He-Man work? It's got to be driving them crazy. Now, the funny thing is, He-Man, it's a sword and sorcery show. And sword and sorcery is pretty popular these days. You think of Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. These are very popular series, and that's about as sort of. I mean, there's got dragons flying and wizards, trying people, doing all this type of stuff, and this is all in He-Man. So why does it not work? Why doesn't it work when He-Man does it? What is the problem? Well, I think the problem is this. Yes, He-Man is a sword and sorcery, based show, but He-Man is more directly connected to its subgenre of barbarians, which you talked about earlier. He came in as a barbarian, and that's what he's accepted as. It doesn't matter if he tries to hide himself, get like a ponytail and put on some pants. People are like, look, no, you are that same barbarian. We know who you are. The pants and the ponytail is not going to change that.
I know you. You know you. And I know you know that I know you.
And think about it. Barbarian movies, like, back in the day, Conan, this and that, it was great stuff. But when was the last time anybody went to see a barbarian movie?
Conan, the Barbarian.
When was the last time anybody liked a barbarian movie? I mean, they've tried. They tried to make some. They tried a new Conan a few years back. They unfortunately tried a new Red Sonja. I mean, Red Sonja to me wasn't good the first time, and that new one may have been even worse than the old one, if that's possible. But it happened. People didn't like it. People are not supporting this. And it's just the Barbarian, when he fell off, the Barbarian fell off. And the Barbarian, they had a long run. They had a good run where they were cranking out movies. These movies were never good, but people enjoyed them, and they happened. And now you can't pay somebody to go to the theater and see a Barbarian. You really can't. I mean, really, honestly, if somebody came and said, I will give you the money. I will give you the money to go buy that ticket. Would you buy the ticket? Would you go see Red Sonja if I gave you the $15 to go see it? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. You'd be like, I'm not doing this to myself. So, I mean, that's the problem. The barbarian genre is kind of dead right now. And He-Man, he can try all he wants. He is part of that. He came in as a barbarian, and that's what people accept him as. He is accepted as a barbarian, period. But now, it's not all bad news. It's not all bad. Everything has its day. Everything that's old is new again. I mean, think about it. The 80s themselves are back and getting loved again. So everything gets recycled. So at some point, somewhere, the barbarian is going to have a resurgence, and people are going to love the barbarian again. And whenever that happens, people will love He-Man again. They will give him another chance. But, we don't know when that is. But whenever that day comes, Mattel will be waiting, and they will be ready for He-Man to put on the grass skirt and go out and fight Skeletor again, and it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be good. But you know what? I gotta say once again, if you haven't seen the He-Man movie, which most people haven't, because if you look at that box office, they haven't. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Give it a chance. Whenever it comes on streaming, give it a chance. I bet you'll enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I think you will. Just give it a try. All right. Well, that's it for today. I mean, what are your thoughts on the He-Man? Why he can't make it? Is it something else? Is it because of the barbarian thing, or is it something else? Is there some other reason that he's being held back? What do you think? Leave it in the comments. Let's talk about it. And there it is. Hopefully, for the good people in Mattel, hopefully somebody will have the answer to what's going on with that franchise. All right, you guys. Coming up, we've got the top 10 comics of this week that a friend of mine, Spiro, thinks you should be reading. And, check out his list. It's pretty good stuff. And, until then. Thanks for spending some time talking comics and comics legends. If there's somebody that you'd like us to do a story on, leave it in the comments. While you're down there, like, subscribe, and do all those YouTube things.